everyone. This is Rhonda J. Smith, certified holistic health practitioner and owner of Soul Delights, a company to help you to attain and maintain your health naturally. Thank you so much for joining me again, whether live or on the replay. I am happy that you are here. Tonight, I am doing part two from what I did last week. And last week, I discussed with you oxygen availability for good health. And this was a topic that I wanted to talk about because so many people are dealing with COVID, and not just COVID, but other health challenges. And a lot of talk has been had about the vitamins and minerals that you could do to make sure that you're healthy. And we discussed those just briefly because I just want to affirm that zinc and magnesium, vitamin A, C, D, those are essential for good health, whatever you are facing, to be able to prevent or to get rid of whatever you are trying to fight. But I wanted to talk about oxygen because that is something that we know a lot of people who are experiencing COVID are having problems with shortness of breath. And so I wanted to delve into just tell you about the importance of oxygen, again, not just for when you are sick, but even to help you to maintain good health before facing anything. And so we spoke about the challenges that people have with having oxygen, challenges such as asthma, other issues, COPD, allergies, bronchitis. These are all challenges, things that can cause you not to have good breath. And then I gave three reasons or three areas that you should really focus on to be able to increase your oxygen level. And those were decrease inflammation in your body, particularly through bad foods such as fried foods, junk foods. And one thing I did not mention was stress, but we're going to come back to that one today. Number two was also to make sure that you balance your sugar levels. Because if you have low sugar, that means that you don't have enough oxygen available. And if you have high sugar, that means that oxygen is present, but it's not available for your body to use. And the third one was for you to decrease fatty foods because these clog your arteries and they also clog up your blood. It causes you to have really sticky blood and prevents your blood from traveling. And you know that the iron in the blood helps to carry oxygen throughout your body. So that's a review from last week. This week, I like us to focus in on part two that I'm calling snuffing out your air. Snuffing out your air. So the question I have for you, what are some things that snuff out your air? What are some things that are causing you to lose breath, to lose breath, to lose your oxygen? Well, I said we were going to come back to stress, and that is one of the main reasons that we literally lose our breath when we're under constant stress. And we know this could be because of job anxiety. Some people may be experiencing that right now with not working because of COVID. They may have lost a job. It could be because of a strained relationship, loss of a loved one, and we know a lot of that is going on right now. And it also could even be the fear of the unknown. So many people are worry warts. Excuse me, I take a little bit of water. Excuse me. Some of us worry ceaselessly. We think about what if this is going to happen, and I don't know what I'm going to do if this happens, and we create a world in our minds that may or may not happen. This can cause anxiety and cause you to lose your breath. Constant stress. There could also be chronic illness. If you perpetually have something going on, bronchitis, you catch it often, you're always catching a cold, Maybe you are a smoker or you don't eat well, so you have COPD. These are chronic illnesses, but all of these things that you are able to overcome. So constant stress, chronic illness, and then even caustic air. Anything that is causing your air around you to suffocate you. And a lot of people who live in urban areas, we know we experience this from different chemical plants, people doing illegal dumping. These types of things can cause the air to be caustic and cause us to lose our breath. Well, there's some things that we can do about this. We can take control of our health. I'll give you an example. We talk about this constant stress. Sometimes it's hard to get away from constant stress, particularly if you are in a situation where it's hard to escape, or sometimes it's not even, you're not able to escape. For instance, you're a Black American, and Black Americans unfortunately face systemic racism in many instances, and it is a constant cause of stress for many of us going into the store. And now, well, we do all go to the store now. We can still go, but we can't leisurely shop. But if you go into a store, you have to wonder, are you going to be followed? That's constant stress. Trying to get a job, particularly if your name is not mainstream, you wonder, are you going to be selected for a job, because discrimination is real. And these are things that we have to constantly think about. Will we be accepted? What is going to happen? And I know so many people are saying, don't play the race card. But the fact of the matter is, we know that racism still exists in America. We're seeing it with what's going on with COVID and the disparities with the health system, with trying to get help and telling healthcare workers that you're having symptoms. And so many African Americans have been turned away and not tested. And so these are some things that you cannot not get around. You can't get around being Black and who you are. But there are some things that you can do to try to curb the anxiety, and that is making sure that you have good relationships, that you do exercise, that you do um, breathe intentionally. Breathe intentionally. And for me, the main thing is, as an African American and as a Christian, knowing that God made me in his image, and anybody telling me that I'm not good enough or I can't do anything does not stop me, because I know what God has for me is for me. And so I have to pivot my thoughts. And we talked about that in one of the earlier broadcasts, which focus on focusing our thoughts on why we are here on this earth and keeping that focus, because that literally changes the structure of your brain and helps you, even in this instance, as I'm saying, to stay calm and return the breath that you've lost because of anxiety from constant stress. That's just one example. We know stress can come from many ways, but it is necessary for us to be intentional with how we breathe, breathing in deeply and making sure that we are not just going, that we pause, we stop, and we do breathe. We will go into this in more depth, some ways to get exercise next week, but I needed to talk about that as it related to stress in that moment. I felt I needed to talk about it right then. So let's go back to chronic illness. There are things that we can do. Now, I know some people say, well, I've been like this all my life. I've eaten like this all my life, but there are some changes that you can make in your body. It is May 1st today, and my mother-in-law has not had a sinus infection all year. And this was something constant that she would get every year around February, March. and it would last a long time. Well, she started taking some herbs that I suggested to her when she felt it coming on, and she continues to take it, and it helps her to have a healthy respiratory system. These herbs are known to do that. And so I recommended that to her because I know that with other people, they've worked for my family. So I made a recommendation to her. So she did stop. She changed some of her eating, those things that cause um, mucus. We know a lot of dairy products can do that. So she changed that and added some things that help to boost her respiratory system. And so she doesn't have chronic sinusitis, is what her doctor would always tell her that she had, or bronchitis, because she made some changes. And then finally, caustic air. Now, sometimes people cannot um, leave their home to get rid of this air, but there are things that you can do to purify your air to make sure that you're breathing in well, that you're breathing in well. And I'm just going to give one thing today, and that is to have some plants in your house plants. So next time we talk, we're going to talk specifically about the types of plants that you can have. I mentioned exercise. We're going to talk about those, and I have about four or five other areas that I also want to give you for the next time. But again, I want to say that it's important for us to have oxygen available to us, because if we don't have it available, we won't even be able to use it. So it needs to be able to be available to us. And we need to be able to do what we can to be able to take it into our bodies so that we will have good health. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're a little bit shorter this week, but I did not want to make it as long as I had been because I just wanted to come in and talk to you about that. We're going to go more in depth in certain areas on next week. So those of you who joined me again, thank you all so much. Again, I am Rhonda J. Smith, certified holistic health professional and owner of Soul Delights, a company to help you to attain and maintain your health naturally. Last night, I had a sale that ended, and my sale was on my Your Fast for Life program. Soul Delights is my company, Your Fast for Life. And as a matter of fact, I have not taken down the link for the 50% off. For the 50% off. And so you can go and do that now. I'll leave it up for maybe a couple more hours so that you can do that. But this is a 40-day online program that will help you to recognize your relationship with food and with God. You have weekly calls with me and other people on the program, and it's going to be wonderful. I have about a dozen or so folks who've signed up for it. It begins on Monday, and I even offered a special again to the first few people who joined who have one-on-one consultations with me. So look for that again in the future. I don't have any of those available. Those are all taken. But again, I look forward to serving you with Your Fast for Life and my other programs. And you can get those. Let me type that here because before I did not put it. I'll put my website. It's souldelights.com. SOULDELIGHTS.com. And so I want to put that there for you so that you can have it. And I'm going to pin it because Allison told me I was supposed to do it while I was actually on, and I did not realize that. And Allison also says that she has a black thumb. She can't keep a plant to save her life. Well, you know what? Join Monday, the broadcast on Monday, Allison, and anybody else who says they may have a black instead of a green thumb, because I will be broadcasting again with the Alpha Kappa Alpha Alpha Omega chapter. So you can go to that Facebook page. We are going to be presenting live and continuing on with our nutrition and wellness virtual conversations. And our focus on Monday is gardening. So, Allison and anybody else, you can go there on Monday to get some tips about growing plants. And we're focusing mostly on edible ones, but I'm sure some of the tips that they have will help you even for house plants. So, again, thank you all so much for joining me today. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you the next time.